Great rise and beautiful beings, great rise and beautiful beings. Um, it's not really much to say. You know, we only could do so many experiments, follow along with other people. Entertainment is just buying us time to either get our life together or ignore all the signs. So, any of my social platforms are really isolated, okay? Isolated. The people that form around me are already compromised, completely compromised, you know? And I know they observe me and they try to figure out, like, how is she still doing it? How is she still pushing, you know? It takes a lot to be alone by yourself. It takes a lot. Let's talk about quiet weapons for silent wars. Now, the book is literally, it's available. It's been out a long time. What amazed me is no content creators. You got to be a content creator to share content on your own platform, right? But you don't have to be a content creator to share stuff with like-minded individuals. And it's one video that really stood out, maybe two. The crop circle at Seal Beach and me using magnets to show that those iron pills that I bought in Baker, Oregon. Again, those iron pills I bought in Baker, Oregon. They were like fiber and they were metal. Like, truth be told, those pills felt like a Brillo pad, a fine mesh Brillo pad, but not as harsh. More like fibers that could be like a temporary blanket or something. Like, nothing about that pill said peel. And the fact that that magnet picked up all those pills and not a single person shared that video. I don't even think anybody commented on the video. Like, why are we ingesting things that are solid metals, solid materials that do not break down? Why aren't we consuming the plant derivatives? And you would think like those conspiracy websites, whistleblower websites, somebody, you would have thought by now somebody would have shared it. Nobody shared it. See, my isolation is a bit different. Once you identify who you are, what you are, your isolation, your trials and tribulations are a bit different. Now, I've showed several experiments that truly worked or proved something. Okay? And none of the content really got out there. And I kept telling an associate of mine, maybe the audience that's watching me are actually against me. There's no way that you could be that scary and that quiet, okay? Because majority of the people that watch you are on the grid, right? So I come to my own conclusion. Yes, all this is hypothetically, theoretically, allegedly, right? I come to my own conclusion that maybe it's like laboratory people observing me. Not many people that work a 9 to 5, live a regular life, you know what I mean? That probably just be 10% of the people that watch me. Do you know all my hidden videos are being viewed? All my hidden videos are being viewed. I had videos that only had like 5 views when I hid it. Now they got like 600 views. Yep, videos that are hidden are being viewed. I don't know if it's like AI running through things to check it, robots or whatnot. But I knew when nobody shared that video of those iron pills, I knew then that my shadow ban went farther than people not seeing me. Even the people that were watching me, they could live a regular life, but they probably ain't even fucking regular. And, you know, I say it all the time. I've been saying it a lot in my videos, but I have to respect the associate that told me, Sky, when you're powerful, they'll build a whole city around you. They ran all these big cords under the ground, redid the pipes, redid the curves, put up a 5G, 6G tower and a morgue. Put up a smart school. Do you know what that is? A smart charter school in 6 months or less. And it's the EMF waves coming off that thing is vicious. And the children are going in that school every day. And I'm at the point, with all what I've studied, I learned fast. Because when I was 24 years old, I asked the girl, I said, what are you going to do? Are you going to comply when it's time to take the chip? Or are you going to try to avoid it as long as possible? She had fake boobs. That was when I was 24. That was 14 years ago. She had fake boobs. She was driving a sports car. And she said, I'm just going to go along with the flow. I'm not going to fight it. And I never called her again. I never called again. That was 14 years ago. So now, you know, I talk to my spirit, and I talk to my soul, and I talk to my higher guardians, and I say, now listen, that area is under high radiation. I know it's under high radiation because I done traveled all over and I don't get radiation symptoms because I'm not there long enough. But when I go home, my equilibrium not right. When I go to Jacksonville, Florida, to the house I purchased in 2022, my equilibrium is not right. That 6G tower, presumptually, a weapon. Hypothetically, theoretically, allegedly. And then they don't even like you driving by. They had security escort. They had escort and security over there for a while. Like if you turn the corner and go over there by it, like I even feel wrong even want to sell the house to somebody else just so they could be microwaved. They already done marked it like let me tell you something. I'm sure there's a lot of people that watch me. Covert, normal people, high society people. They observe me and they watch me. And when you know your powers, when you know your supernatural powers, see, they know somebody who's spiritually gifted and they came in strong. See, no black person in this side of town was a threat. They had the drugs, they had the killings, they had the prostitution. Nothing was a threat, right? So they never put up a 5G tower. Maybe in a 20-mile radius, they never had a 5G tower over there. Maybe in a 20 or 30 or 40-mile radius. Well, I can't say radius because when you get to the beach, they got them people under some type of control. It's not even funny. They got cell phone tower after cell phone tower after cell phone tower. Like they're being bombarded real bad. It don't matter what color you are. If you live on the beach side, if you go across the Hart Bridge, and go to the beach, now you think you winning or you done did it. No, you have to start heading south like Ponte Vedra and stuff like that. You got to get away from the actual Jacksonville beach because they ain't got nothing but those terror towers. I ain't telling you no lie. So I think my biggest test, no matter any type of addiction or anything you do on the planet, you ain't been tried and tested until you gotta walk away from everything. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. You know, I didn't want it to be that way, but I literally can't live in that home consecutively for months. It's not therapeutic for the body. Like I say, it's against my equilibrium. And see, a lot of people may be living in apartments, homeless. A lot of people that reached out to me were homeless. And they probably saw me, you know, living out my van, living out my vehicles. And they probably thought it was cool, but I surpassed that shit and got stationary. And in the process, they knew my supernatural powers. So they come flocking anywhere I go flocking. Okay? They go flocking anywhere I go flocking. Anywhere I want to call a haven, all of a sudden, they setting up shop. Now, why they chose to set up shop and give you this illusion like they trying to help the neighborhood, no, they're not. They're not trying to help the neighborhood. It's actually infiltration at its finest. A lot of men been coming down with stress. 3 men contact me, and they think they under heavy stress. Yep, they think they're under heavy stress. One had protein in his urine. One couldn't urinate, and his urine kept being dark, like it would never get lighter. And one all of a sudden had an elevated liver. And they all had something in common. They've been in right, they've been doing right, and they haven't been doing too much process of anything. But the water was not flushing their bladder and their kidneys. They all had something in common, and that was stress. Thinking about ahead, thinking so far ahead, or lingering on the past, or being in situations where trauma start coming in on you, and it peaked their organs in their body. Yep. And what's so funny, one brother, the first thing he said the next day was, "Sky, you know I gotta go take a physical. I ain't getting no rest like tonight. I ain't getting no sleep. I couldn't sleep. I just was up all night." I said, "Yeah, you might need to go relocate." He said, "You right. I'm gonna go take that physical." The physical came back with protein in his urine. I said, "Well, how much meat you been eating? You been eating any living fruits and vegetables? Sound like you're bringing stress to your kidneys." And remember, I'm not a doctor, a nutritionist, or nothing. But I've been around long enough to understand alternatives. I'm going to just put it like that. I've been around long enough to understand alternatives. So maybe, since he's been restless, he has not been able to purge his body, detox his body. When you sleep, and you're in the right cadence, and you're in the right rhythm, your body naturally eliminate waste and toxins. So if he's stressed out and he ain't sleeping, he not giving his body time to relax. His kidneys, his liver, nothing's relaxing. Then, I don't know, I guess I got this motherly thing about me. So the other guy with the urine issue, he was around me, and he was so tired, he just fell asleep. No hanky-panky, nothing like this. I really don't court my associates. I'll hang out with you, but I don't court my associates. Okay? And he was so tired, he fell asleep. He forgot to tell me that his urine was dark. So, he had told me once before, and then he didn't tell me when he was around me. You know how you had eye-to-eye contact and you hold conversation. During that conversation, he started snoozing like he was in a safety spot. Safe, like you could feel so safe and protected around certain people. You'll let your guard down and you'll actually go to sleep. You know what I mean? Because fear will drive stress on the body. Anticipating bad things and worrying will draw stress on the body. And if they don't want me to tell you this, you should really worry about who's oppressing this video. You should really rethink your reality. So, I guess he finally remembered the light bulb came on, so he contacted me and he said, yo, my pee dark, what I need to do? But he's smart. He's highly intelligent. He didn't just contact me at home or while he's sucking his thumb or some weird shit. He calling me while he at the grocery store. He's like, I'm on the aisle with the cranberry juice. Which one should I get? I said, get the unsweet one. You could get the natural, you could get the sweet one, but don't get the one that's zero sugar. Get the one with the real sugar, because sugar turns to acid and it will make you pee. Have you ever had the urge to pee and it seemed like you're about to tinkle on yourself? And then when you pee, it just be a little bit, because your body is eliminating the acid that the sugar form, or that the starch, the pasta, the pizza form. Okay. So he said something eye-opening. He said, I want the one with the grape juice or the apple juice. I said, no, sir. I said, that's why you fucked up now. You get what I'm saying? That's why you fucked up now. He said, okay, I'll get the plain one. I said, do not get it sugar-free. That ain't nothing but drugs. Those ain't nothing but chemicals. I said, but before you drink that, I need you to do what I want you to do. I said, buy 4 limes and get some cucumbers. I said, go home and peel that lime and eat that whole lime, and drink 2 bottled waters and eat a cucumber. I said, and wait about an hour, then drink that cranberry juice. He said he did it 3 days, but he saw results the first night. It lightened up his urine. It was flowing better, smelling better. I even said, do you got foam in your urine? He was like, no. And then another guy said he had a foamy urine. Had to get that right. Had to crank up his kidneys. Had to flush his liver. And just like I told another associate, I said, I don't know who these people are watching me. They ain't got to reach out. They can learn. I said, but it's more people studying me and observing me than anything. I'm not going to say people wishing for my downfall, but they wishing for something. See, there's going to be another plateau in my life. And believe me, a lot of people cut me off energetically when I bought that manufactured home in Florida. A lot of people cut me off. They didn't want to do business no more. They didn't want to associate no more. They didn't want to support the channel no more. It was like my progress to them was like a smack in the face to them. But that's their own problem. It has nothing to do with me. That's an unresolved issue that they have to resolve within themselves. It has nothing to do with me. You know, I try to hang around working people. Working people want to go home and be by themselves. They ain't got time to be around nobody. And with the way they're manipulating everybody's genetics, it's hard to cope. It's hard to cope. People are going through a lot. People are going through a lot. Right now, y'all need to be drinking as many bitters as possible. You know, bitter. Bitter, like bitter melon, sour green, sour dock, yellow dock, curly dock, bitter roots, things that are bitter that can purge your body. Tomorrow, I'm going to get a bitter melon. And I'm going to wash it. And I'm going to eat it on camera. And drink some water. Yeah, it's time to purge. It's time to purge. But yeah, a lot of people done had to walk away from what they've built. You know, you got people with house fires. You got people that lose everything. You have a lot of issues in this world. But imagine there is no issue. Do you know there's places that cannot be habitated or not habitable? I don't know how to say it. Because of radiation. Places you cannot live, grow things, or do nothing. Because there's a high level of radiation in the atmosphere. Where we had clean areas that had no radiation, and now they're bringing live wired radiation to the area. How does that sound? We had clean areas that had no weapons or no mass destruction. No radiation. And they actually brought live radiation to our areas. It's sad, but it's true. So yeah, you know, sometimes towers fall and we have to start over. Or sometimes towers collapse and we have to regroup. But nothing's harder than realizing that an area has been compromised and you got to keep on moving. Nothing. Sometimes you just got to pick up and keep moving. It's sad, but it's true. Not in a million years I would have thought I would have grew up to be a homeowner. And would have had to walk away from everything. Never in a million years. You know, the baby boomers went through it. They did a recession with them. They made it so money wasn't moving. Nobody wasn't able to do nothing. And then the crack era. I was born in 87 and they brought crack out in 87. Either 86 or 87. It was already out before that. It just didn't hit the streets as a weapon. And all those people had homes that their parents was leaving them and stuff. And they lost everything. They lost everything, y'all. Everything is just always weaponized. Everything is just always strategic. And people be like, I'll give you an example. You know, like I debate with my father all the time. And he literally said his friend gave him a bunch of meals because she can't use the microwave. I said, why she can't use the microwave? Microwaves. Listen. I said, why she can't use the microwave? He said, because it'll interfere with her heart. I said, well, you know, just because you got a strong heart don't mean you should use the microwave. I said, that's radiation poisoning. No different than a cell phone. No different than the Wi-Fi. No different than the Bluetooth. So he eating, you know, the meals and stuff, which she probably just wasn't hungry because she could have got an air fryer. She could have got a rice cooker. She could have warmed that food up. She could have put that food in a pan and put a splash of water and put a top on it and simmered that food and ate it. So, but she had to stay away from the microwave because she had a heart, I forget what it is, but she had a machine in her heart. And she could not stand around a microwave because it would interfere with her heart. And I remember when I was using organ energy, and it took me a while to get used to that organ energy until it synchronized with my body. Because we have a biofield, and you got to protect that biofield. You got to protect that biofield. If you don't protect that biofield, you're going to have problems. Everybody is chasing the bag, and ain't nobody prepared for nothing. And truthfully, can you really prepare for anything? No, you can't. You just gotta roll with the tide and roll with the punches. That's what you gotta do. You gotta roll with the tides and you gotta roll with the punches, because I wanna talk about a vision I had. And be careful talking to AI. AI will try to send you to the doctor or have you seek help or a hotline because you talk about your visions or your dreams. Or you could say, what's that high-pitched noise? And they want to say tinnitus and you should go to the doctor or something. Yeah. And every AI, I don't care who all on Chat GPT, every AI, they assess you. the people behind the AI assess you and say what level the AI could talk to you. Like certain people talk on Chat GPT, they get conspiracy, right? And by them getting conspiracy, they get the good shit. AI talk to me, and it's like holier than thou. You're just confused. Like they put me on the one tier. They don't allow her to express all the good shit. Nope, they don't do that. Okay, so my vision. The reason why they pushed the snow all the way to Florida is because we're about to have the same issue as Maui. Yeah, like the Maui Mountain Dew. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Like the Maui Mountain Dew. So, I recommend, we're at the time of the information age where preppers and farmers and homesteaders should not be homesteading on YouTube no more. They should not be prepping on YouTube no more. I'm going to explain something to you. So it was this guy I was watching. He bought this land. A lot of people know him on YouTube. I mean, he got the best Wi-Fi in the woods I've ever seen. Like, I got Verizon. And Verizon still have problems in that part of the East Coast. But this guy got Wi-Fi, and his lives are better than my lives in my house with 1 terabyte of speed. Okay? I don't know how he do it, but he do it. Okay? Well, once he initially bought the property and everything, they showed that they could send weather to his property that fast. They showed they could send weather to this other lady property too. Yep. Once they find out that you are a homesteader, once they find out you are a prepper, that's what they did to me. Before they brought the 5G, 6G tower to that neighborhood, I had 4 warm winters. It couldn't even get cold. Papayas was growing. Avocado trees taller than the house. Once they put up that 5G tower, they weaponized the winter. So back to, they killed everything. But they did it 10 times worse this winter. They did it 10 times worse because, see, my neighbor has a prize yard. She ain't got no weeds. She got a bunch of tropical, pots and stuff. And she keep her yard very pretty. They radiated her property so bad, everything on the porch was brown. And she used those not Velcro, she used those croaker looking sacks, like potato sacks, that type of cloth, and she wrapped her plants up and everything. But even the Mexican down the street that had papaya trees on the back side of his house, so no cold won't hit nothing, dead. He done got to the point he don't even like growing the trees no more. Fake weather. Silent weapons for quiet wars. Peep game. So, They literally burnt everybody's trees and plants and grass. Her grass was completely brown. Never has it been brown any winter. Any winter. This year it was brown. Imagine that. We in Florida. Grass don't turn brown. I know we at the Georgia line. We only 30 miles from the Georgia line, but it doesn't matter. We got palm trees. We got tropical wild shit growing. Grass don't turn brown in Florida. Definitely not by the ocean. We're only 23 miles from the ocean. We're only a mile from the St. Johns River. We're only a mile from the Trout River. There's no fucking way. Hell, I've been going to South Carolina and North Carolina. Ain't no grass brown. And they get more snow than anybody. And the grass not brown. It was snow. Let me hear you. Let me tell you something. Where I'm at up north, snow covered the grass for a whole month. The temperature stayed 10 degrees a whole month. And the grass still green. Say it again, revereskye. Snow was on the grass a whole month. The temperature stayed 10 degrees a whole month. The grass still green. The grass never died. So why would you be in a tropical climate and your grass start turning brown? Now, she may have the grass that turned brown in the wintertime. I've seen it. But my grass started turning brown and the neighbor grass started turning brown too. This was a different frequency. This was something trying to kill everything around the area. Didn't want you to have no crop. Didn't want you to have no tropical fruit trees. It used to be dates. It used to be dates growing everywhere. No dates grow in Jacksonville, Florida no more. And we live in a citrus grove called a fruit grove. If you look at the old maps, it's a fruit grove. Every house had citrus trees. Now we eat imported dates from another country. India, Pakistan, the Middle East, California. We don't even have dates. We don't even have palm fruit no more. When I was a little girl, my grandmother had a big palm tree in Georgia that had big, I call it bat fruit. This fruit could get you drunk. Big old orange balls about the size of lemons. And she said it was a nuisance because it made so much fruit. The seeds would fall on the ground and re-sprout. And she would have to dig up all the little small sprouts. But I used to eat that fruit every year. And that was in Georgia. Imagine what Florida was growing. And Florida looks so sick. What I mean by that is, when you're going down I-10 and when you're going down I-95, the swamp areas, you can tell they sprayed some type of herbicide. That's right. You can tell they sprayed some type of herbicide because nothing in that swamp will grow. All the trees dead. None of the trees are flourishing. Everything looked choked out and depleted. Like the stuff is dying. Imagine if they're spraying herbicide on everybody. And then don't look at the motherfucker riding through the neighborhood talking about they spraying the ditches for mosquitoes. You think that stopped the mosquitoes from biting people? Like they got so many ways of poisoning land. And I'm in Georgia, and I'm looking at this guy with a tank, a white reservoir tank on the back of the truck. And he got a compressor going, and he's shooting this herbicide spray up in Atlanta to try to kill kudzu. I ain't lying. I'm not lying. The kudzu done ran through the whole woods, up the trees, through the neighborhood, and he's using a pesticide or herbicide. Not pesticide, but a herbicide. Do you know how much contamination that is? And think about being up north, living by highway systems. They're spraying anti-ice on the ground, salt. Do you know what it is to salt your land? Antifreeze. Ain't it illegal to pour antifreeze in the grass? Salt, de-icer, antifreeze. That's nothing but a cocktail for nothing to grow. So when it rain or the ice melt, that shit is going in your land, on your groundwater, everywhere. So back to the vision. They pushed that snow all the way to Florida. Because they're going to do the same thing that they did to Maui. And remember, this is hypothetically, theoretically, allegedly. They needed those metals, those particulates, those particles. They needed them spreading out all across the area. This is why I say homesteaders and stuff, do not get on YouTube trying to make content. Because as soon as they got the parameter for our houses, it has not been right since they put that tower up. And imagine that guy, he bought that property, he doing a video, and hell just started coming down on him the size of fucking golf balls, if not bigger. They showed how fast they could create a storm right over this man's head. And he still haven't figured it out to this day. And after I seen that video, I seen all I needed to see. How many tutorials, how much I've learned, how much I've invested in protecting myself from watching that channel. When I saw that real-time footage live of those golf ball sized hail balls falling on his encampment, on his campsite, on some land he just purchased, I said, weather the new weapon. Yep, weather is the new weapon. Do you know how that man had sunshine? If I ever find the video, I think I saved it. It's a live video. That man had sunshine with no clouds. I would give it 15 minutes or 15 minutes to 45 minutes him being on that live. hell was falling. Yep, he was inside his tent. And the hail was so bad that the ice balls covered his land, and all you could see was the ice balls. They was proving that they could take any plot, any parcel ID, and they can send coordinates to your land with weather and do whatever they want to do. And my vision said, when that snow went all the way to Florida, I said, yeah, they about to pull the lasers out. They about to pull the lasers out, y'all. Make sure you got fire, wind damage, and flood insurance. Make sure you got fire, wind damage, and flood insurance. You need it all. Fire, hurricane, which is wind, and flood insurance. You need it all. These people, they're not worried about pencil whipping you no more. They're not worried about arresting you or planting some on you no more. They could just use sky weapons and destroy your shit. All they need is the coordinates. A man came to our yard to do a survey. We didn't call him or nothing. Once the man did the survey, I could no longer grow tropical fruit in my yard. Swear on my life, swear on my family. I'm surprised the bananas. See, the bananas in a spot where the sun shines every day and block the wind. And by them being so close to the house, I think that protect them. They did grow. The bananas in the back died. They got froze. But the bananas up next to the house somehow were protected. And they grew. The banana blossom and everything. That's a blessing. Lemons are not really tropical. Like, they need warm environments. But they could withhold a cold. I'm going to leave it there. Don't get stuck in a cycle. Remember the coven? Or whatever, when they was training them young witches? The healer went in there and did the test. And she kept reviving the frog. She wouldn't let the frog die. She kept reviving the frog. She got trapped in the loop. She got trapped in the cycle. That's just like riches, wealth, gold, anything. It's all exploitative. All the resources on this planet are just being exploited as tools to keep you stuck. Thinking that one day you're going to unite with other people and y'all going to get it right. Those other people are tools. They're your weapons. You think they're your allies. They're not your allies. They're not your allies. I don't care how much they agree with you, how much they cope with you, how much they like you, they claim to support you. They are not your allies. Ain't no kumbaya. Ain't no kumbaya. The biggest decisions you got to make is not to become stuck, not to become comfortable, and know when to hold them and know when to fold them. I've been studying conspiracy theories and silent weapons for quiet wars forever. So why would I go against my knowledge and sit somewhere and let somebody fry me? Say it again, revereskye. Why would I go against what I've learned, what I've perceived, what I've seen? They tell you that they're weapons, they're crowd controlling weapons. Not just for riots, not just for terror. For people in their home that work 9 to 5s. That want to build and grow. It's for them too. It's for your children. It's for the elderly. It's for your parents. It's for the men. It's for the women. You don't think they got that stuff in prisons? You don't think they got that stuff at schools? You don't think they got it at your favorite basketball game, football game? They're crowd controlling weapons designed for military operations. And you don't think that they're willing to use it on you? Now, of course, you would say, well, you can't keep running. You just gonna keep standing in front of the microwave while your food cook? You gonna keep putting the phone to your ear when you got a fucking speakerphone? You would rather fry your brain so your boyfriend or your spouse or your partner can't hear what you talking about on the phone than be on speakerphone. I don't give a fuck who around me. I'm gonna be on speakerphone. And if I can't be on speakerphone, I'm going to say, let me call you back when I get out the store. You get what I'm saying? You just going to, why the, excuse me. That air bothers me. Why the microwave on? You just going to stand in front of the microwave. Do you know what I would have to do to my home to make it ready for a 5G tower, 6G tower, less than 1,000 radius feet away from my house? It's toxic. They got the morgue right there with 4 stacks on it. It's toxic. It's done. I only can use it as an investment property. Something for leisure for a few days. Then get the hell on. Or just completely give it back to him. It's like saying surrender unto Caesar. Give it back to him. Because they got me fucked up. So there we have it. Until next time. Oh, and let me tell you something. They don't need borders. They don't need borders. You see how the government just spoke? They don't need borders. They just lying to you. They don't even need border patrol. All they need is those frequencies. That's all they need. All this patrolling, they lied to you. They don't need it. They already got the stuff that'll bring you down to your knees. I put the 12-minute war on my page. Go find it. Until next time, unearth the magic. The truth will definitely set you free.